A transfer window to build for the Champions League. We've gone through all of that. We've done deadline day and all of August's fixtures. There's only 3. And we bring you back for the first of the September fixtures, which once again is a doozy. It's Arsenal, and then the first Champions League fixture itself. Athletic Club, slightly less of a doozy, but could be an interesting contest. Probably 2 fairly even teams. But welcome back to Wolves, where I don't have quite as much to get through as I did this time last year. However, still a fair bit of money thrown around. As always, start with the outbounds. Kiana Hover, gone, £3 million, last year of his contract. Only homegrown nation, not homegrown club. Third choice, off he popped. Huang was a loan to buy. The buy part of that has now gone through, 8.75 on top of all the loan fees he had last year. I think it worked out about 11 total. Jose Sarr's optional fee wasn't triggered, but Anderlecht still bought him anyway for £11 million this year. Did alright in Greece, but then again, that is the Greek league, not the Premier League. He had a terrible start over there and then kind of got to grips with it. He's gone to Belgium, probably still about the right level. £11 million. Burnley bafflingly gave me £20 million for Adnan Januzaj. Yeah, I don't know either. About my 8th best inside forward over there. And yeah, basically a free 20 million. And then 2 people who were sold off the back of the first 2 games we played. I'll show you those results obviously shortly. But yeah, Aït-Nouri was responsible for 2 goals in the first game being conceded. So I subbed him off after half an hour and then probably sold him to Feyenoord, £25.5 million. They've got a deal really there, but I just wanted him out. And then similarly in the second game, Nelson Semedo was responsible for conceding 2 goals in that game and was subbed off after half an hour, and then I promptly tried to sell him. This one didn't happen until after deadline day, so I never got the funds for it on deadline day. Bit annoying. The good news is we preempted it with a signing. But still, 32, £27.5 million Fenerbahce. Little bit of a weird one, that one, considering Chelsea were listed as wanting him for about the entirety of August and then never bid. And then on deadline day, Fenerbahce went, yeah, all right. And then it still took a week to go through because I think their transfer window closes later. Technically, we made a profit. As for the inbounds, I will just preempt this by saying I completely forgot about Umar Solei's interest in Saudi Arabia. They never came in for anyone other than I think it was Lucas Perry, the goalkeeper. 3 teams came in for him there. And none of them, well, they're all laughable, really, considering the amount of money they had. So obviously I wasn't selling my first choice goalkeeper. This lad at Darmstadt was listed at, well, I think he really had a release fee at £2.8 million. So with the anticipation that someone was going to come in for Solé, I got a replacement for Solé, and then Solé never left. Barest minimum, nice turn of profit. Udoakai also came in, and for some reason he's listed as 2 stars even though he's worth 30 million. There's a weird discrepancy between his capabilities and his star rating that I do not understand. We now do have 7 centre-backs because none of them left. I don't really understand Udoakai. Just to quickly show you the comparison between him and Courtney Hauser. Yeah, I don't understand the lack of value in Courtney Hauser. I don't understand the lack of star rating on Udoakai when they are basically the same player. Udoakai marginally better mentally overall. I don't get it. Just took a wild punt on this goalkeeper as someone to develop maybe as a reserve. Can't become homegrown nation or club, which is a tad irritating, but he cost me 190 grand and he's worth 10 million off the bat. 19, potentially Premier League standard. He'll probably get loaned out. We preempted the sale of Aït-Nouri with the acquisition of Christian McFarlane at New York City. 6.5 million, I think it was. There was a release fee involved. Only on 18 grand, worth 20-ish, with potentially Premier League standard under him. We'll see how far he gets. Yeah, I just didn't want to copy everyone else and get Valentine Barco, but I did bring him in before my disgust for Aït-Nouri came through, so he was kind of meant to be like the fringe player who comes in and gets a few games here and there and then develops off the back of it, because he is 18, he is English, and he can become homegrown club. Next on the list to tell you about is the first of a 2-man raid on Barcelona. It would have become a 3-man raid had the Semedo money come through on deadline day itself, but it didn't. Noah Darvic, release fee, 23 million. Immediately valued, 53 to 65. Yeah, some baffling release fees on Barcelona players. He's on 80 grand a week, and there is clauses in that which do make the contract a tad ridiculous for his age, but probably won't be here for too long. Some nice tempos, good flair, good dribbling, good technique and all that jazz. An insane number of traits. Crucially though, left-footed. And anyone who knows me with this formation knows I actually like to have a left-footed midfielder on that left-hand side. Prefers to be on the right in a 2-man pairing. What? You're left-footed, mate. Can I train that out of him? He's going to play on the left because obviously, sensibly, he should be on the left. Very good player. And the Semedo replacement is Hector Fort. He is valued at 89 to 105 million. Yeah, that's ridiculous. 40.5 flat release fee. It does say he's 19 now, but he can still become homegrown club. I do appreciate the revolving door of former Barcelona right-backs. That is now occurring at Wolves. Semedo out, fought in. Out with the old, in with the new, quite literally. Yeah, not played a lot, but mostly for the reserve side, and done well. 4 times for the actual Barcelona team, 7.07. Not bad, really. Again, a raft of traits, a not terrible left foot either, and just very solid around the board. Nothing exceptional yet, but there's still development space. And I expect a fair amount of it, considering the price tag. Price tag is usually a good indicator of overall potential ability, so there's plenty of space there, one imagines. And lastly, but not leastly, the potentially most expensive, because he has bonuses that can be triggered, Shaquille Van Persie. Just kind of intrigued, really, by him. Obviously, Robin Van Persie's child, but in the game, at 18, has developed to be decent Premier League already, has that potentially 5-star ability as well. Same kind of price tag, so again, I'm expecting big things from Van Persie Jr. here. Not exceptional yet, but I did need a striking replacement, because Klajic was okay, but patchy last year. He is 6'2", this lad. Jumping reach is solid. Heading's okay, so not exactly short, but not exactly Klajic, but also 18. Listed as English, could still declare from Morocco or in the Netherlands, but yeah, weirdly, his father isn't listed in here, which is a shame because we also hired Robin Van Persie as well. I did this first on the off chance that would make signing Shaquille easier. I don't think it did. I now realise it probably actually would have put him off joining us because it would be like being the teacher's kid. Weirdly doesn't list the father-son relationship. Don't really get it. Considering that you can have children in the game that come through in youth intakes, it's a little weird that relationship isn't coded into the game on such a high-profile father-son duo here. But that's that. We played 4 games. We beat Paris Saint-Germain in the Super Cup because of course we did, and then immediately lost to Leeds. Yeah. We also had this weird Euro Sam Club Challenge thing, which I have no idea what this is about. But we also beat Fluminense. Shaquille Van Persie scoring in both that and the Super Cup, actually. Loves a pointless showcase match, I guess. But yeah, Aït-Nouri was responsible for the first 2 goals Leeds scored, so that's why he got sold. Semedo was responsible for the first 2 goals Man City scored their 4-1 drubbing, which is a little unfair on us, really. It wasn't a 4-1 loss. And then we smashed Brentford 4-0. So really struggling to work out where we are as a team right now. Pedonetta scored twice, McTominay scored twice in there. The usual suspects are back at it again. Hassan chipping in against Man City. I'm going to show you Rooney Bargi's goal on this one because it's ridiculous. And while it loads that, I will say, not a single whisper regarding Bargi. No one, not even a low ball, stupid offer. But Rooney Bargi puts this ball in originally off the set piece. It ends up back at him via this header, and that is a goal. 1 of 4. McTominay scored twice. Lucas Perry still got man of the match because he saved a penalty. I should say, Luton, Bournemouth, re-promoted straight away, first time of asking, and Leeds back up. 2-year absence for them, of course, but 3 recently relegated sides back up again. Norwich stayed up last year. You know, it's just dawned on me. Forest stayed up despite being absolutely woeful. They really turned their season around. Good on them, because they were dead last at one point. The fixtures are Saturday, Wednesday, but then it is Chelsea away afterwards. But again, a 4-day gap, so it's not awful. And I do kind of want to win this. There are rotations here because of an international break tiredness situation. So some of our players have come back not fully conditioned. So the lineup will be Lucas Perry, Bard, Kilman, Riedel. The lineup for Arsenal will be Lucas Perry, Bard, Kilman, Riedel, Aarons, João Gomez, Darvic for his first start, Ure Drago, Smith Rowe, Bargi, Van Persie up front. Both the Barcelona lads do need numbers, given 23 and 20 respectively. So there are some high-profile absences here because of absolute tiredness coming off the international break. Østergaard's one of them. Cunha's another. Ramsdale still in goal for them. It's still basically Arsenal, only Inacio, the interloper there. Arsenal have a tendency to stay the same, probably largely because their team is quite young, really, to begin with, so there's not really that much impetus to buy and replace. They do have Ansu Fati on the bench, though, which is terrifying, along with Matthias Tell, just to further introduce more youngsters that are unbelievable. But otherwise, that is a 10 of 11 actual Arsenal team. See what I mean about free kicks? You can do nothing to stop this. There is absolutely no way you can set up your free kicks to stop that, because it is entirely up to the AI where they stand and whether or not they value either Gabriel Jesus as a threat, etc. Utterly up to the AI to decide to defend for you in that situation. It is frustrating as hell. I don't think I've seen one quite like that yet. It's usually a pass across to someone on the edge of the box who then smashes it in. Again, you can set someone to stand there, but whether or not they'll actually do anything about it, up to the AI. That should be blocked out of the way. It was good. Rooney Bargi's been injured. That's what we need. Van Persie on the ball at Arsenal. I've just realised I'm showing you Van Persie's first game against the team his father played for. Whoops. Well, one of them, of course, famously ran away to Manchester United. Rooney Bargi's still taking things because I haven't had a chance to actually make a substitute yet. I'm going to have to, though. He is properly broken. Pedro Neto on. Eventually the prompt came up to actually let me do it anyway, but I've done it now regardless. Perry parries. That finds Darvic, Joe Gomez, Riedel, Max Aarons, who now, of course, first choice, Neto, cross to Smith Rowe, the other former Arsenal man. Well, the actual former Arsenal man, of course, Shaquille Van Persie's never played for them. Expecting McTominay-like things here from you, Smith Rowe. You're not really showing it so far, are you, lad? Smith Rowe, by the way, more likely to play shadow striker this year than he is centre midfielder attack, just because of the way our personnel has shifted this year. Because of Darvic's arrival and his left-footed capabilities, he's going to hold down that Mazzala role, and Drago is going to hold down the centre midfielder attack role with Elmas and McTominay kind of rotating in as and when I feel like it. Ansu Fati's on the pitch. Inacio, Havertz, Smith Rowe gathers. Nope, that just falls to Ansu Fati because of course it does. Why would the person tackling the ball ever keep the ball? As Melvin Bard there's not exactly covered himself in glory either. Ran out to the person rather than, marking the man that he should be marking. Cunha doesn't miss out entirely. He's on the bench still. Fabi Silva comes on for Van Persie. Darvic is tired. Bellegarde, Drago, McTominay. Yep, that'll do. Gonna have to risk the yellow cards. Pedro Neto plays that short to Bellegarde. We don't smash it in first time. Of course we do. We play back to Pedro Neto. Zinchenko tackles. Thought it might be a penalty. I don't even know what it was. Good save, I guess. Maybe. McTominay's now been injured as well because why would we go more than 40 minutes without someone being injured? Saka wasting time blatantly. Where's this yellow card? Come on, SI. There's yellow cards for time wasting now. Bring that one in, please. What a damp squib of a game, really. Exactly even, they win 1-0 because they had a free kick, basically, is the reason why they've won that game. Because they had an undefendable free kick. That's not annoying at all. Both of them wanted 2 days. That's fine. I knew it'd pick up on this response. Yeah, they asked Steve Cooper about our acquisition of Hector Fort, £40 million, breaking our transfer record technically, because he was technically up front more expensive than Van Persie on an 18-year-old. And Steve Cooper's in-game response, of course, to that question was, it just shows how difficult it is for youth prospects to come through and actually play games. To which I wanted to respond, have you seen the state of our youth prospects? One thing I did overlook at the end of last season is, whilst I criticise Manchester United for not seeing the bigger picture regarding Manchester City and, letting us win to make sure Manchester City didn't get Champions League football, us then winning the Europa League gave us a different Champions League spot, and Manchester City still got one. As shown here, so we have 6 English sides in Champions League football. 6. West Ham finished 9th and got the Conference League. Meanwhile, I think Newcastle finished 6th last year and didn't get anything. 7th, sorry. You may notice in our spare players, Alvaro Fernandez wasn't sold or loaned out in the end somehow. He had bids. I think he rejected them. Bit irritating. Same with Guga, actually. He had a bid and that was rejected as well. He could have gone to Bournemouth and play games and then we could have got 20 million. Loan to buy, but I'd have taken it. I did take it. He didn't. But just because we've got different people registered for the Champions League, there are some mandatory replacements. People are actually rather reasonable about not being included for whatever reason, which I appreciate. Just bring in a smidge of rotation because we can. Lucas Perry, Bard, Kilman, Østigard back to full conditioning. Takes his starting role, of course. I'm not really sure. This one's away from home at Athletic Club, so I'm not really sure which Champions League fixtures we can put Iverson in for. But I don't feel like this one being away from home is one of them. If it was at home, I might have done it. Forked at right back. João Gomez, Drago, Elmas, Smith Rowe, Neto, and Cunha up front. All of them 3.5 stars. Pedro Neto starts over Bargi just because Bargi took that little knock last time round and he is on a heavy load at this point in time. So I feel like we can just let him have a breather as Inaki Williams still there. Nico Williams returned? I feel like Nico Williams went to Madrid or Barcelona in real life. Or am I just conflating that with a previous save of mine? I almost feel like telling him to target down the left because Cesar Azpilicueta's there at 37, I can only assume. Full throws that one in aimlessly, but he does get the ball back quite nicely. Neto, Unai Simon, of course, actually a very good goalkeeper. He's still there. That does surprise me a little bit. It does surprise me no one's stepped up for Simon yet. Right, someone like Bayern Munich maybe with Neuer aging out. Thrilling game. Welcome to the Champions League, everyone. The land of dreams. We've had 1 highlight and 4 shots in total. There's a corner though. Man runs short. No one actually gets there. That's all quite terrible. Okay, that's not great from... Was that João Gomez? I mean, he's herded him this time round, but first time round, that was absolutely woeful. 4 people just closed up on him and none of them got there as well. Our pressing is a... Oh, God, that's gone in somehow. Our pressing is questionable. And Bard, maybe it wasn't Norris's fault. Maybe I got angry at him for no reason. Also, Lucas Perry. What? Why someone shot him? I am so confused. I genuinely have no idea which Wolves is turning. What was that by Bard again there? I mean, that's deflected in. Watch the movement of Bard. It is absolutely nonsensical. Absolute. He's not even. There's a vague attempt to intercept, I think. That's the only thing I can think of that he's trying to do there. But he is about 6 feet away from the person he should be marking. Get close to him, you idiot. Apologise to. I think I need to apologise to Nori. This is absolutely ridiculous. Why did. Sorry, that ball just went in there. Nobody on our side jumped. What is the point of doing corners if your players don't even attempt it? I don't care if they miss it. I want them to actually jump. Cunha puts the ball in. Nobody even anticipates it, but it doesn't really get to the first man anyway, so I'll let them off that time. João Gomez, Kilman, what are we doing with this? Get it over to this right-hand side, quickly. There we are. No, what are we doing now? Why have we passed it backwards? Fort. That does get to Neto, who's kind of gone the wrong way. Fort again. That's better. Cunha's put it in. That's onside. If we can get a draw out of this, I'll take it. Elmas is knackered and playing awfully. I think he's been hit. Yes, it does say injured. CM attack, so McTominay on. Smith Rowe is also not looking great. I think that's Kalajic, and then move Cunha back. I've just noticed they've had 3 shots. Of course they have. Of course they've had 3 shots. Of course they've had a 66% conversion rate. Neto, McTominay. Oh God, if McTominay makes the difference. Neto. Like I say, if he missed the target from there, I'd have been furious at him. Scott McTominay, the architect, is a sentence I wasn't expecting to read when I started playing Football Manager this year. But there we go. It's happened. I mean, this has been a roller coaster. I'm still furious at them generally because this should have been an easy win looking at those statistics now. It's the first time in a long time that Lucas Perry's kind of been not there. Oh, actually, we've turned it around. I don't know how, but we have. Kalajic actually got on the end of a corner after bemoaning people not jumping at all so far in any of the corner highlights we've seen up to this point. I think he does. He's there, and he gets there. And the player at the back jumps when it's not even in the air anymore, so they've jumped when they shouldn't have. Consistency, please. Just consistency would be nice. Neto's tired, Bargy on. Cooney's tired, but I don't really have a competent replacement. Oh, I forgot about Van Persie. I could bring him on. Bellegarde there. I think they're actually better the other way around. I don't want to bring on... Wait, where is my backup left back? I have a weird feeling I didn't register McFarlane for the Champions League. That's why he's not here. And I've forgotten that fact and didn't put Bueno on the bench because instinctively I don't want Bueno on the bench. Bueno is homegrown club, by the way. He's one of the 4 homegrown players who are just there just because they exist. Along with Theo Corbeanu, who isn't good normally, but free registration. So I don't really have a spare left back. Apologies, Melvin. Oh, in that case, get the big man in shadow striker. He's not that as good there, but Van Persie on. We've had 11 shots on target. Unai Simon is one of the better goalkeepers. So the fact he's made 8 saves isn't unreasonable to begin with, because it's not like those ridiculous 16-17 ones I mentioned last time round. So it's still within the boundaries of being not obscene, but he's still conceded 3 goals and come away with a 7.0. Bilbao still have a conversion rate of 50% for this game. They did miss the target entirely on one further shot later on there, but 0 clear-cut chances, 3-2. If we hadn't come away with any points there, that would have been a travesty. The only annoying thing is it wasn't 2-0 down at half-time, so I don't get the achievement. As PSG lose to Inter Milan, the 2 times reigning champions, Man City held by Copenhagen. Wow, Man City held by Copenhagen. Copenhagen. Sevilla beat Liverpool. What is going on? Bayern Munich amongst the teams that lost as well on week 1, along with Manchester United. AC Milan lost as well. I want to know what the other fixtures were. Okay, Barcelona, Manchester United. That's less surprising. Leipzig beat Ajax at Ajax. AEK got into this competition. They continued to overperform. Did lose to Anderlecht though. Jose Sarr probably in goal for them. Arsenal beat Milan. And Real Madrid beat Bayern Munich. Okay, so the big teams that lost are unsurprising in the end. But as always, I'll bring you back in December. Unfortunately, the Champions League game down there isn't sensational. We do have Liverpool in the Champions League, which is irritating. And Real Madrid in January. I will assess the situation as we arrive at the Fiorentina-Newcastle pairing. If there's still something to play for after that game, I might wait all the way to January to do the next episode and then bring you back twice in effectively the second half of the season later on, say around March and then at the end. So it might be a big old gap, depending on where we are in the Champions League by the time we get to Fiorentina. If Fiorentina game can seal it, I'll bring you that one with Newcastle. Simple as that, really. Yeah, I am intensely confused about where this squad is at this point in time because they are all over the place. We are conceding baffling goals almost consistently. Both the ones against Athletic Club Bilbao could have been prevented and should have been prevented, and the Arsenal one was undefendable. So, a mixed bag. At least we won that game in the end. If you've enjoyed this, or at least my frustrations, then like, comment, subscribe. You know how to do by now. Until next time, thank you for watching. Ta-ra. I need to lie down.